What's up, guys? It's Ian. Hopefully this sounds good today. Looks pretty good. Using my camera because I haven't in a while, so I wanted to do it. Just wanted to post like somewhat of an update. And just talk about like where we're at, like specifically like us millennials. Also like, just like young men, millennials and Gen Z and stuff, and I guess Gen X as well. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about where we're all at, just like from a mental health standpoint, and just the fact that and not just men, but just like how much young people, and I use that term loosely, how much young people are struggling with their mental health. And suicide rates are pretty much skyrocketing, especially among young men, and just how bad we're all, I hate to say how bad we're doing, but just like how much people are struggling, right? And I think people who don't really go through it and don't really get it, for them it's it's always a quick fix, right? It's like, whatever unhealthy thing is in your life, just remove it, right? If it's doom scrolling, just stop doing it, delete Instagram, or stop using YouTube. Or if it's, pornography, just quit pornography, quit masturbating, all that stuff. Or whatever else. Quit drinking, quit smoking, or whatever. And I think those things can help, but I don't know if that's really necessarily like a solution. Yeah, just I don't think it's gonna make sense. I don't think it's gonna make sense for any of us. And like for me, we're just like, just get a job, right? I had a job for a while. I've had lots of jobs over the past several years, and it's great sometimes, but it's like a lot of people think that just being busy is a panacea for mental health. And maybe for some people it is, but for me it's not, and it never has been. I've never been someone who just being busy, like I can be pretty miserable sitting at home, and I can be miserable out doing a job and working very hard, or just interacting with people and still struggling on the inside, so or some people say just get on medication, and I think for a lot of people that works. But I think for a lot of us who have gone down that road in the past, we really didn't like the side effects. I know for me it was. And I also just don't like the idea of depending on a pharmaceutical company for my general well-being, and I don't really believe that those companies have our best interests at heart. I mean, they want to make money, they don't really necessarily want everybody to be healthy, because then they wouldn't make any money. But that's just a personal opinion. But it's like, yeah, and it's not like my life is bad. Like, I'm at a park, it's very nice, it's beautiful weather. I don't have to be somewhere doing something that I hate. And for a lot of people that's just great. And yeah, and I acknowledge that that's privilege, and I'm lucky to have have a partner who is able to take care of the things that I am not currently able to take care of. And we've kind of gone back and forth over the years, where at times I was working and she wasn't, and then also there are times where I haven't been working and she has been working, right? So, but of course, like, that can lead to a lot of guilt, right? I can feel very guilty about the added pressure that can mean for her. But yeah, I just so here's just kind of one of the main things that I wanted to talk about was, last night or yesterday I was like decently busy, worked on a lot of creative stuff, and try to keep myself busy most of the day, and I even went to somewhat of a social thing in the evening. And then that night I got home and I couldn't sleep, and wound up, staying up all night and pretty much maybe slept from about, 5:30 in the morning to about, till about 9. And it just kind of completely offset my day. And, and it's just so interesting that I can have like really good days where I just like feel really, really good, happy about what I'm doing, and then I'll just have the next day where I don't want to do anything, I don't want to work on anything, I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to talk to anybody. And then of course I feel bad about not accomplishing anything in a day, so so it's a lot, and it's crazy how addicting these things are, and I understand the irony of like posting on like a video sharing kind of social media platform, talking about like the negative consequences of social media and content and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I just like, I feel like it all has to be coming to a head in some regard. Like, I just don't feel like the world can just continue going on the way it has been. I feel like people in general, I feel like if you're kind of sensitive in any real sense, there's really no way that you just feel that the life as it exists today, it's just going to continue on the way it is. Like, I think regardless of personal views or anything like that, like, I think we all have this deep-seated sense that, like, things have to change, right? And, of course, you hear about the potential of, nuclear war or whatever. And it's just, which can be, like, pretty scary concept, of course. But it's not so much, and it could be that. It could be that, right? Like, that could be what happens. But something is going to change. Something has to change. And it might be maybe it's AI or some technology or if it's aliens revealing themselves and landing in public places and whatever, or some transformative technology or whatever. But it's just like, I feel with how angry people are, how unhappy people are, how divided people are, I don't think anyone can feel like things are just gonna, slowly reach equilibrium or slowly move towards something that makes sense. It just feels like that's not possible for us today. And yeah, like, just doom scrolling. And yeah, I mean, last night in the middle of the night, I was just like on my phone, and I can't tell you how many times I'm like, okay, now, whatever, on Instagram or whatever, just like, okay, now I'm going to get off. Okay, now I'm going to turn it off. Okay, now I'm going to turn it off. And then just like, you just continue to watch more videos, view more content. There's a bunch of they're kind of rebuilding the skate park, so there's a bunch of boards and stuff in there, so that's what those kids are doing. They're jumping on wooden pieces of plywood and stuff. But yeah, you know, it's and it's not like there's any reason, you know, I mean, I say like there's no reason for me to post any of this stuff, but I think it's just cathartic for me, and whether 2 people see it or 200 or whatever, you know, I guess I can feel like I'm kind of speaking to history, and if 200 years from now people see all the content we made, and I'm like, yeah, I just want people to know that this was a really tough time to live in, you know, and just how addicted so many of us were and are, you know, and just how you can have these bad habits or things that spike your dopamine and crash your dopamine and whatever, and you know, and all people's opinions of how to deal with all that and how quickly or how easily you could solve it by just not doing it. You know, that just with everything being at your fingertips, and just all of us constantly being stimulated and overstimulated, and things that trigger fear and anxiety, that this was just a really tough time in history to live, you know, and a lot of people checked out because of it. You know, all the social pressures and cultural pressures, and you know, looking at the successes of others and questioning, why didn't I do that? Why was I not able to do that? You know, or just shouting into the void and being lonely and, you know, missing your old friendships and stuff. You know, I think that's pretty tough too. But yeah, you know, so I do this because it makes me feel a little bit better. You know, talking to the internet makes me feel a little bit better. You know, so guess I'll just keep going and we'll see. Thanks.